All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into Dr. Sudheendra S.G.'s research material on a really powerful method for mastering the art of learning. This is especially for you educators out there looking for ways to help your students and yourselves truly thrive.
So, to really get this, we have to start with a big question. In a world of non-stop emails, pings, and notifications all fighting for our attention, how do we build that deep, meaningful focus? And maybe more importantly, how do we teach it to our students?
Well, the solution is, and I love this, deceptively simple. It was developed by a guy named Francesco Cirillo way back in the late 1980s, and we're going to explore it through Dr. Sudheendra's research as a powerful tool for pretty much any learning environment.
It's called the Pomodoro Technique. And you know where it gets its name? From a simple, tomato-shaped kitchen timer. Pomodoro is just Italian for tomato. It's what the creator used when he was a university student, trying to fight off procrastination and just get some work done.
The whole technique is built on this simple rhythm. Focus work, then deliberate rest. And you just repeat it. You go hard for 25 minutes, then you take a 5-minute break. But what's so fascinating is the science behind it, the reason why this little cycle is so incredibly effective for mastering new things.
So your brain kind of has two different gears. That 25-minute sprint, that's your focus mode. It's when you're wrestling with information, really engaged. But that 5-minute break, that's not lazy time. It's just as crucial. It lets your brain shift into diffuse mode, and that's where the magic happens, where your brain processes everything in the background and locks new information into long-term memory. If you skip the breaks, the learning just doesn't stick.
And here it is. This is the heart of why this thing actually beats procrastination. Thinking about a huge, daunting project can be completely overwhelming, right? But if you reframe it, if you just tell yourself, it's just 25 minutes, suddenly it feels small. It feels doable. It's a little mental trick that gets you past that starting line resistance.
And you know, this isn't just some niche productivity hack for your desk. It's a principle that's being used successfully in different cultures all across the globe. It's become this worldwide phenomenon for improving how we work and how we learn.
It all started with that one student in Rome trying to pass his exams. But from that little kitchen timer, the idea has exploded. Now you've got the biggest, most innovative companies in the world, like Google and Microsoft, using it to keep their team sharp and on point.
Then you go over to Japan, and you see how beautifully this technique clicks with the cultural principle of Kaizen. You know, that idea of making small, continuous improvements over time. These short, repeated sprints? They're basically Kaizen in action, a way to drive efficiency bit by bit.
And of course, in Silicon Valley, it's a secret weapon for fast-moving startups. They use these focus sprints to chop up massive, complex coding projects into pieces they can actually tackle. It boosts creativity, and just as important, it helps prevent that burnout that's so common in those high-pressure jobs.
But maybe the most powerful example for all of us as educators comes from Finland. Their education system is world famous, and it's built on this very principle, just on a slightly different timescale. Students there will often get 45 minutes of instruction, followed by a full 15-minute break. This isn't just a random schedule. It's a core philosophy that's been shown to dramatically improve how well kids understand and remember what they're taught.
And what's really fascinating, what really gets me, is that as modern and sciencey as this all sounds, it's not new, not at all. It actually echoes this timeless wisdom about focus and discipline that you can find in ancient cultures.
I mean, look at the principle of nishkama karma from the Bhagavad Gita. It says to focus completely on the task right in front of you, the duty at hand, and not get overwhelmed by the final outcome of the whole battle. That is the exact mindset of the Pomodoro Technique. Just focus on this one sprint, not the whole mountain you have to climb.
And it perfectly illustrates the story of Ekalavya from the Mahabharata. His legendary skill with the bow didn't come from just grinding away for endless, draining hours. Nope. It came from focused, intense, and repeated bursts of practice. Basically, the ancient version of Pomodoro cycles.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do we actually do it? How can you and your students start putting this to work like tomorrow? Let's break it down into a simple, straightforward action plan.
All right, first step. Pick your hardest, most dreaded task of the day and hit it with your first Pomodoro.
you'll build amazing momentum. Second, and this is a big one, try using a physical timer, not your phone. It helps you avoid the black hole of notifications. Third, keep a simple log of your Pomodoros. It's so satisfying to see what you get done. And finally, and I cannot stress this enough, protect your breaks. They aren't wasted time. They're when the real learning gets cemented in your brain.
And yeah, a physical timer is great, but let's be real. We live in a digital world. So of course there are excellent apps out there designed to help you and your students stay in this rhythm. Whether you want something super simple or an app that gives you all the data and analytics, there's a tool that'll fit your style perfectly.
So here's the big takeaway. The Pomodoro Technique, it was never really about managing time. It's about managing your energy, your attention. It completely reframes work, not as this long, draining marathon, but as a series of short sprints that you can actually win. It's a powerful reminder that in a world that just glorifies being busy, real progress, real learning comes from structured, rhythmic focus. So the question isn't how many hours you work, it's how well you focus inside them.